How's everybody doing? For today's video, we're going to take a look at the new update. Before we jump into it, there were a few things I wanted to point out first. First thing I want to point out is that one of the V-Buck missions disappeared with today's update. There was a V-Buck mission in Stonewood last night that's currently not available. The one that was in Twine Peaks is still available though, and there's also a mythic lead available for those who need it, and that's available in a 124 Repair the Shelter group mission. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. One of the V-Buck missions disappeared, but we do have a mythic available, so you may want to try to complete that before it goes away. Also, it looks like Tilted Towers has returned. In the patch notes it says the island stall goes on and Tilted Towers has emerged from underneath the snow and ice. Go out on the town with this classic POI from fortnights past. Build to the top of its iconic clock tower, bust into apartments, stop by restaurants, battle it out in the underground parking garage, storm No Sweat Insurance's office, and more on your urban excursion. So yeah, Tilted Towers has returned, and the little monster that's in VR is out right now as well. And I think it's called Clombos. And it says here, it's long theorized that there was a large creature on the island, but alas, it hasn't been found until now. And it's actually there's more than one stopping around the island. Don't worry though, despite their enormous size, these creatures called Clombos are completely peaceful, unless provoked, but still. How can they help you in battle? Ascend their tails to get to their blowhole on their heads. Then get launched a great distance upwards to escape a tricky situation. They've also been known to sneeze out items after snacking a bit. And there are a couple of pictures of what this Clombos looks like. The Clombo diet is very diverse. They'll eat just about anything you throw in front of them, but what they love most is clomberries. Pick these fruit from small bushes around the island, then throw one near a Clombo to lead it your way. Remember, if the Clombo snacks a bit, items spout out. Have you accidentally or purposefully provoked the Clombo? Calm its rage with none other than a clomberry. And if you eat a clomberry, it'll increase your health a little bit. So that was everything I wanted to go over first. Now we're going to take a look at the new update that was in the Homebase status report. And speaking of the Homebase status report, they didn't tell us what we can expect to see this week. Looks like it was added to last week's Homebase status report. So I'm not sure what's going to come out this week other than the changes that they made. But as soon as I find out, I'll be sure to let you all know. But yeah, we're not going to go over the entire Homebase status report, because we already went over this same Homebase status report last week. The only thing we're going to go over is the new update that they added today. Also, a quick reminder that the Winterfest Venture season ends on January 24th at 7 p.m. Alright, so when it comes to the update, it says, "Hey there commanders, it's Lars. I've been researching some stuff in my lab and noticed a recent change in behavior from the storm that you are going to want to hear about. Some commanders tend to use a certain building technique during defend the objective missions, which allows their structures to pretty much do all the work for them. Hey, I'm not judging. I also like to kick my feet up and spend some time just enjoying a good tune once in a while, but I don't think commanders can get away with that anymore. The storm seems to have noticed this building technique and has made adjustments against it. That's just freaky, man. It seems husks that stay stuck on the field for a while will be reabsorbed by the storm and then replaced by new, fresh husks. This must be a way the storm keeps its husk alert, active, and always ready to tear apart your structures. I don't know what the storm is feeding these husks, but it sure seems to be working. Higher level husk will have an easier time clawing through your defense, so watch out in those more difficult zones. To counter these buffed up husks, we have strengthened our traps. Husk will no longer become immune to our control traps, no matter how many times you stun, snare, or freeze them. What does Major Oswald like to say again? No mercy. This proves my theory that the storm is smarter than we think, so as our tactics change, so will the storms. We gotta be ready for anything. Good luck, Commander. We're going to need you more than ever now. Signing off, Lars. So what does this mean? It looks like they have reverted the crowd control changes that they made last year. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, basically they made a change last year to where your traps could only affect Husk up to 5 times. After the 5th time, it would no longer affect the Husk. So with this freeze trap, for example, let's say Husk walk into your trap tunnel and you have 6 of these floor freeze traps placed. Obviously, when the Husk walks over the first 5 freeze traps, they'll freeze every time they walk over it. But once they walk over that 6th one, they would no longer freeze. And that was true for all traps. So it also applied to tar pits and sound wall traps. And the reason they did this is because they didn't want people to jail build or use stall builds. But I mean, people still figured out a way to use gel builds even after these changes. They just weren't able to stall as effectively as they used to. But after today's update, you should be able to not only gel build like before, but you should also be able to stall husk like before as well. And I think this is great news because my Twine Peaks Endurance has almost nothing but stall builds on every amp. So I haven't really been able to play Endurance since they made those changes because mine doesn't work. But after today's update, it looks like it may work again. So we may stream our Endurance on Twitch later today just to see if it still holds up like it used to. But obviously this doesn't just apply to, it also applies to Frost Night, regular missions. It should also be useful in the Venture Zone. So I kind of feel like this is a good thing. I don't know too many people who really liked the crowd control. It seems like most people didn't like it. So I'm glad that they're reverting back to the old way. Not just because of my Endurance, but for all of the other modes as well. I know not everybody's likes gel builds and stall builds, but I'm excited to see these changes be reverted back, mainly because of my Endurance. I don't really use gel builds or stall builds in regular missions, but I do have a lot of stall builds in my Endurance. And honestly, I'm really glad I decided not to tear down my Twine Peaks Endurance build because I almost did. I'm not sure how this is gonna affect the Frost Night. We may also stream some Frost Night this week as well. Maybe try out some different builds. But yeah, that's everything they included in the update. Like I said, when it comes to the Homebase status report, they really didn't add anything new. They just added this update to last week's Homebase status report. So I don't know what we're gonna get this week. But as soon as I find out, I'll be sure to let you all know. Let me know what you all think about the changes that were made. And like I said, we'll probably try to stream some Endurance as well as Frost Night on Twitch this week. Anyways, I hope y'all found the video useful, and thanks for watching.